What is up, everybody? It is your boy CB. We are here to talk some Georgia uh, football. We'll talk a little bit of, we'll talk a few things, but, college football has been a little crazy. This past weekend was another one of those crazy weekends, uh, but it was fun. It was super fun. I think, like I said earlier, I do think that Georgia's got a lot to work on. Uh, but after watching this past game, I was, what's up, Nate? I was okay. I was excited. I'm excited to see what Georgia had to offer. Excited to see what Georgia did. I saw a few other games. Got to see the Colorado game with the questionable call at the end. Um, got to see the Alabama game. Got to see the Vanderbilt game. The Tennessee Florida game. Nate, who did Michigan play? Got to see USC almost knock off Penn State. Really thought they were going to beat Penn State. I don't think Penn State's a very good team. Ohio State, Oregon, got to see that game. Uh, who are we missing? I'm trying to think of who else. It might be everybody. Um, anyways, so start off with one. I think what we saw this weekend from Georgia was very exciting to me, and you guys know I'm a very very critical of Georgia. I'm very critical of the Dogs. Uh, I think it was the first time we saw. What's up, Daniel Bear? I think it was the first time we actually saw some identity out of Georgia. Um, I mean, like watching around, watching all the other college football teams and watching how they do things. It's been very, yeah, I've been jealous. Been very jealous watching these other teams play. Been very jealous watching how everybody else, when they go into a game, they know exactly who they are. I mean, heck, Michigan is a good one. I just said that about Nate, but you got Michigan, who knows they're going to run the ball 400 times a game and maybe pass the ball 5 times, and they don't care. Like they'll beat you with that. And I think that's been my problem from the get go is we do not look like, or we did not look like we had an identity, and that's all that I wanted. I said I was very critical of Kirby, of Mike Bobo, of our offense, not looking like they knew what they wanted to do. And it's tough when you're trying to be a fan of a team. It's tough when you're trying to root for your team and hoorah this and hooray that when you don't even know what's going to happen. I mean, I've multiple times this year, and I said this um, multiple times this year that I felt like what's it called? Just when the offense came out, I didn't know. I didn't know what I wanted. I would get on my phone. I would, just go do something else. I really didn't even care to watch the offense play. Um, they're very vanilla. It was very boring. It was very inconsistent. And this was the first time where watching the offense, like I actually wanted to watch the whole drive. Um, so, with all that being said, uh, Georgia might not look like Georgia from the past as far as running the ball, you know, in between the tackles all the time, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, hey, that's okay. It is perfectly fine. It is perfectly fine if Georgia doesn't want to be a run first offense. It's okay. Or not just that if we don't want to be, but if we can't. I mean, you guys saw the same thing I saw. It is tough for Georgia to get the things that we wanted before, the things we got before, even just dating back to last year, the last 2 years, 3 years. It's a different team. And I think that's a part of coaching and that's where I think a lot of us were frustrated. It's a part of coaching when your team is not prepared. And it's not just prepared in the sense of who they're playing against, but they're not prepared in the sense of who they are. And that I think is a big deal. Um, Nate, give me just a second. I will read your comment. Okay. Nate says Georgia reminds me of Michigan this year. Not good on the O-line or D-line. Also average wide receivers, good running backs. The play calling is terrible. Yeah, I mean, that in that sense, yes, Nate, that's a very good point. That is a very good point. It is, to me, where we aren't like that, to me, where we're a little different. Our quarterback just threw the ball 48 times. Like a real 48 times, dude. And to me, it's like that's super exciting because it's like, hey, if we're going to be that team, if that's who we are, if that's how we have to win games, if that's the identity, then screw it. Let it be that. I was just frustrated because we didn't know what we wanted to do. We did not look like we know what we wanted to do. And that, to me, that all of that, that's the frustrating part. So now seeing that our team has a little bit of identity, now seeing that our team has a little bit of, hey, we're going to throw the ball and our quarterback's going to try to throw for 500 yards. Like, I'm sorry. This is new college football, and watching Shador Sanders play, like, Georgia is talented. Yeah, yes, agreed, Nate. That's 1,000%. I'm not knocking Michigan, but it's a very good point. But watching Colorado play, dude, watching Shador Sanders throw 500 yards every game, I don't care what people say when they're like, yeah, well, they don't play anybody in their conference. Yeah, well, guess what? There's a bunch of quarterbacks in that conference, and guess what they don't do? They don't throw for 500 yards. So that's what I mean, though, is that's where I'm going with this on I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see Georgia going into this game, because if we can look like what we looked like this past weekend, we can actually win a shootout. Like, you guys realize, like, I would have never said Georgia would win a shootout. I would have never said that, we had a chance to do those type of things. So that's what I'm saying is things are different, dude. I think things are different. I think we are in a place where we know who we are. We know what we can do. What's up, traveling? And that's it. That's all I've wanted. And it sounds crazy because you got a lot of Georgia fans, from what I've seen, they're super upset. They're upset over this game, and I'm like, dude, I've been very critical of Georgia. Anybody that's seen any of my videos, or even just even has just seen the title of the videos, will tell you, yeah, Tiger's not the biggest fan of Mike Bobo. Yeah, that's very true. But after watching this last weekend and us having a decent identity, man, I'll take it. I'll take it all day, every day. Like, that's perfectly fine for me. What's up, Big? So, like I said, I'll come back to Georgia. I'll come back to Georgia, but now let's move on. Right now, you got college football is in a very weird place, because this might be the most exciting season we have seen in a long time. A lot of upsets, a lot of this, a lot of that. There is not a true top dog. And I know people have said Texas. Texas was in that category that Ohio State was in. Everybody said Ohio State was great. They're this, they're that. Oregon has not looked good this year. And we all said that Ohio State didn't look good this year. And we just watched that game this weekend. Dude, there were pieces of that game that were boring as crap. So I don't think Ohio State or Oregon are as great, But, I mean, hey, they're ranked where they're ranked. I'm not knocking that. I'm saying it more in a way of college football this year is very much up for grabs as long as you're in position to grab it. Right? What's up, Nature Boy? What's up, SO? Yeah, Nate, facts. I know that Coach Moore is trying to change it. I know he's not Harbaugh, right? I know that things are different. I get that. I'm just saying, for Georgia, I'm just glad that Mike Bobo has finally found that, found what he wanted. But anyways, Ohio State and Oregon, We saw two teams that it was a little boring to watch or a few highlight plays. Ohio State just has the best receivers in college football. That's it. That's the best way to say it. Ohio State has the best receivers in college football. Their quarterback is average, but guess what? Doesn't matter when he can just throw it up and his receivers get it every time. He has the best receivers. Oregon has one of the best the quarterbacks in college football, right? We've seen that. Yes, Nate, facts on the 2007 season. What is it? Oregon has one of the best quarterbacks, but what we're seeing out of them is not the best play. They are not playing as well as I know they want to, but still. So like I said, it is very fun to see, but I'm also, how do I say this nicely without sounding like a biased fan? I think Georgia still has a chance. I think Ohio State has a chance. I think Oregon has a chance. I think Texas. I think Bama does. I know people right now are like, oh, no, like Bama, there's no way. They don't look good. I mean, who's going to beat them by a lot? You know, it's like, well, they lost to Vandy. Yeah, they had a hangover game, and then Vandy ended up beating a good Kentucky team. So it shows you that Vandy's not a what do you call it? Vandy's not a fluke. There's a lot to be said. There's a lot to be said when it comes down to this football season. The best teams are not that far away from the middle of the pack teams. We'll know more about Texas this weekend. If Texas beats Georgia by 21, then it'll be one of those like, okay, it's Texas and then everybody else. But until then, like, and I don't think that'll happen. I think, like I said, I know that sounds biased, but I don't think that'll happen. I think Texas, when you look at a lot of these posts that people have made, they have not played the same or even similar caliber of teams that a few of the SEC teams have. But team that I'm worried about, guys, even though I think they're not as good, is Miami. I think Cam Ward is really good. I think Quinn Ewers is good. Don't get me wrong. I think Carson Beck for this one game looked great, being able to use his arm. That's awesome. But I think Quinn Ewers. I think Cam Ward is deadly. I think that dude is it's not even that he's the greatest quarterback. Like, really. Cam Ward to me is more of, he is what do you call it? He knows how to play backyard football. Like every time you watch him play, that's all you see. You literally just see a dude, what's it called? Just running around, and like there's no really rhyme or reason to his play style. Which is hilarious because he's so good at it. But I think that's what's going to end up winning them games. And to be honest, that it reminds me of that Johnny Manziel type mentality of, it doesn't matter what happens, I'm going to score for our team. So yeah, that's kind of where I am right now. You guys tell me what you think. And this isn't just me coming on here talking. I honestly think that, there are a lot of good football teams right now in college football, but I guess I want y'all's opinion too on it. Improvise. Are you talking about Georgia improvising, or what you mean, big dog? Kind of waiting to hear. Let's see what you guys are saying about it, to be honest. Cam, whoa, yeah. Sorry. I thought you were telling me to improvise. I was like, okay, all right. Yeah, no, I agree. I think Cam Ward is beautiful at that, dude. I know that sounds funny, but it's like, that dude does a great, great job at that. You gonna drop the link? Yeah, I guess I can do that, huh? You know the thing too about Texas that I think is kind of crazy. Texas has two running backs that I think that are hurt. Um, I think Texas has two running backs that are hurt right now. Um, who was it? Oklahoma. We saw Oklahoma have what was it? Five receivers that were out against Texas the other day. And they played decent. They just couldn't get anything going on offense, and it's kind of hard when just your defense is playing well. So, like I said, kind of excited about that. What I will do while I'm waiting on VicTube to hop in the link, let's pull up some of these games, guys. Oh, got VicTube coming on. All right, go for it, Vic. Give me your opinion.
Yeah, my opinion. Well, I think that the offense played really good. Yeah, I was pleased with the offense. I mean, that was the best game that we've had offensively so far. Now, of course, I'm really disappointed in in the defense. I mean, how do we give up 31
What's
points?
up, sir? UGA?
Yeah,
Ooh.
to the worst team in the SEC.
Yeah, I agreed. I agree, and that's crazy because Vic, think about what we're saying. The worst team in the SEC is Mississippi State. We went out there and put up 41 points. We gave up 31, but yet as a Georgia fan, I feel really good after that game, even though I've been super critical of them all year. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I feel like this is the game that we've been waiting for from the offense.
Exactly, and that yeah. And sir, UGA, you tell me your opinion too. Georgia fans, Nature Boy. I mean, even other people. If you're not a Georgia fan, I know we're going to talk a lot about Georgia on this, but guys, yeah, for the first time this season, I was like, I want to watch the offense play. Are we going to take another shot? Are we going to throw it downfield? Like you finally just let Carson throw the ball and it wherever he wanted. It was none of this like staring down the linebacker like we did against Alabama, staring down the linebacker and then throw. No, like, stop doing all that. Just let the man throw who was open, and I felt like that's what he did. Yeah, so UJ said our offense looked good against Mississippi State. Yes, and it's like, and all these people that go, yeah, but you guys look good against the worst team in the SEC. Yeah, but we're practicing against some very good players in practice. And you can say, oh, your defense isn't that good. I know our defense isn't last in the SEC. So it's like people can say what they want, but it's like I feel like Mike Bobo grew. I feel like he grew a lot in that game. Now, did you notice how in the second quarter we were really hot, but then in the second half we came out. We were a little inconsistent. It seemed like we couldn't get back going.
Right. Well, we did. I thought we had a touchdown on that first drive coming out of the locker room, but then we got cold after that on the next drive.
Well, I think it was like the
Beck
next like three drives, but yeah,
and then Beck threw an interception in the end zone.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like I said, I was super pumped. Just about the offense. But the defense, I don't know how fully what to say. I don't think our defense is terrible. Yes, sir, UJ. Great point. Great point. Great point. Our defense isn't as disciplined as it usually is. You know, like, and I say that in a way of being good and being disciplined are two different things. That's why you see in like what's the name of it? The March Madness. That's why you see these teams that have been together, have a bunch of seniors and they go out and beat Kentucky or beat Duke. It's not because they're really good. They're just super disciplined. They got a bunch of older veteran players. We don't have the leadership to carry the discipline on this team.
No, we don't.
Uh, Hold on. But Nature Boy says Beck has to protect the ball better in the red zone. I think he does. I think he that shot against Alabama and then that interception he threw in the end zone. He's got to understand when to just throw the ball out the back of the end zone, or what? Notice in the middle of the field, Beck sometimes will just take off running. That's when I would want him to run. When you don't think you have anything, just throw it away or take off for a few yards and slide. I'm okay with that. But trying to fit it into a window in the red zone doesn't work very well, or trying to take a shot that might not fully be there. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
He says, I think we're moving Starks around way too much. It's almost like he's thinking too much. If he's going to play him at star and let Jackson and Bolden be your safe. Yes, I agree. I think we noticed at one point he had Malachi Starks playing corner. Like we had him at corner, and then all of a sudden we'll have him at slot. Then we'll have him, like you said, at star or at safety, and it's like just let him play him. I know that Kirby is trying to prove his versatility, like for the draft. I do get that because Malachi will be a very high draft pick. Our defense is sus, as the kids would say these days. I mean, you're right though. You're right because we have good talent. I just like that one play that got busted where they threw over the top for like a 40 or 50-yard ball.
Mm-hmm.
That one right there, it looked like Malachi Starks was supposed to cover the flats, and then Humphreys or Everett, whichever one of those that got beat right there, was supposed to cover the third, cover that back, like the back zone. And they played it well. The receiver acted like he was going to come up to block, and then he slipped. Well, that's on Everett to understand when there is a slip, when there is that kind of play, or somebody's coming to block you, you have to engage in the block. You can't just let him go free. You said that was on Starks. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I don't know. That's what I wish I knew the play. Because if the play was for Starks to have the flats and for Everett to have the back third, then that would have been on Everett. But if that was on Starks to have the back, but he just bit on it and thought it was a run, then yes, maybe, then that is on Starks. So it was like you said, the defense isn't very disciplined right now. I think we're just missing a leader. We're missing a Nolan Smith, or a Roquan Smith, a Jalen Carter, like somebody who's just overly dominant, who can just
Right. Or N'Kobe Dean. Yeah.
yes, dude.
And N'Kobe Dean or Jordan Davis. Yeah.
Do you remember when Kobe Dean slapped Quay Walker in the back of the helmet because he missed that play against Bama, and
Oh
then
yeah.
Quay ended up making not game winning, but a game sealing tackle?
Right. Well, he made like the stop on the when Bama was going for two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was. Yes, it was going for two. It was like that was great. That was great. Our tackling has been less than stellar this year too. Very incorrect characteristic. And we do have a lot of young players. I know that's why you guys don't hear me talk crap about the defense. That's like Kirby is not all of a sudden going to become a bad defensive coach. We know that. Like we just know that we are playing a lot of young guys, playing a lot of inexperienced guys. I think Ellis Robinson needs to start. And if you guys saw, he was out of bounds, but he intercepted the ball late in the game against Mississippi State. So it was good to see that. So I don't know. I just think go ahead and get him out there, even if he's going to make mistakes. Just let him make mistakes. He can't make more mistakes than the guys that are playing right now.
I mean, yeah.
What were you about to say, Vic?
Yeah, I was gonna say that I feel like we did a good job controlling the line of scrimmage defensively. I mean, it's not like we were getting pushed around. I mean, it's not like they were running it down our throat. I mean, we played good against the run.
We did. I did. I thought we played good against the run. Um, it looks like all that's happening right now are just some miscues. You know,
Yeah,
it's not like they're having one receiver that's just dominant or
yeah,
any team. I mean, Ron Williams had like what was it, 3 catches against Georgia? They were just deep balls.
yeah,
Like it just so happened to be, but there's not a team where a receiver's out there and he's got 8 catches for 130 yards. Like our defense last year was better than this year. And if you remember, Humphreys from Vanderbilt, or is that where he came from? Vanderbilt?
yeah.
I think he had like 100 yards on us receiving. Dominic Lovett from Missouri, when he played against us 2 or 3 years ago, dude
Hmm.
had over 100 yards receiving on us. Like our defenses back then were giving up more. It just seems like now Kirby's trying to play either a more press happy defense. I don't know what he's doing, but a lot more one on one. There's a lot more, and I guess because he's trying to get his front seven to make more of an impact. Maybe he's trying to get them to get home before those one on one routes come open. Um, if we don't tackle this weekend, we lose by 21. Yeah, it's time
Yep.
for Robinson for real, dude. Dude is long and athletic. You're talking about Ellis Robinson, dude. He's beautiful to watch. He's so athletic. Uh, UGA needs more 36-year-old toddlers on their D
Yeah,
line.
we do. Yeah, we do. Well, I mean, we do have a big baby on the defensive lines, and that Jordan Hall's nickname, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
big
but
baby.
Jordan
Yeah,
Hall has been out. He was
yep. Hurt. Yeah, he's been hurt. Yeah.
I think he's going to be able to play this game against Texas. You could tell Mikael Williams, he's back to full health.
Yep, he's back. Yeah.
You saw it. There was at one point there were 2 tackles and running back. Um, but I think it'd be good to have him back. Uh, man, dude, we need Roderick Robinson back too. Think Branson Robinson is still kind of coming off of that injury. You know,
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
he just seems stiff. He just, he put. Oh, and he just got hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. He did. Yeah. Doesn't seems it just seems kind of slow. It just doesn't seem to have that explosion or that
Agreed.
quickness. He just doesn't have it.
What's up, K Dog? Well, the thing about Branson, and this is what I said before. Do you remember when Keith Marshall came off of his injury? It took him almost a year to kind of get back. Heck, it took Nick Chubb a year.
Yeah, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
So I think Branson, it was more of just keep him healthy. And then he goes out there and he hits that dead leg and ends up getting hurt. Uh, or no, he hit the dead leg and his leg got bent up. But
All right.
yeah,
Yeah. 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 Nature Boy says that he's out with an MCL injury. So
I wanted to know how serious it was. Um, but yeah, we got the dudes. Just got to be it all together. I agree. Um, and I hate it because I feel like Roderick Robinson gives that same look. I think Travis Etienne's a good player, but when he was at Florida, teams did not have to stack the box like they do against Georgia. At Georgia, you got 8 guys in the box always. And so what's happened is Etienne, I think he's great. Sometimes though, the dude's trying to hit 74 juke moves on one run play. I mean, like literally. And you got Nate Frazier that's like, bro, just give me the ball. I'm out. Nate Frazier's hitting one move and he's taking off. Like I love watching Nate Frazier run, dude.
yeah, me too. Yeah, I guess we're gonna see a lot more of Nate Frazier now. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is where having Roderick Robinson, I think, would be great because he is that one cut back as well.
And so what's going on with him? Yeah, I heard that he had turf toe, but I
He
mean
had
he's
the
missed
tightrope
half the
surgery.
season.
He had. Remember the thing that Tate had? They're saying that that's what Roderick had turf toe and had the tightrope surgery as well.
Okay. Yeah,
So he
because
had 2 surgeries.
An hour. It's already halfway through the season.
I know. But
Yeah,
you know how Kirby is. Kirby's not going to say anything about anybody.
right.
We have Dwight Phillips and Bowens waiting in the wings to run the ball. They can all break long runs. Well, see, Nature Boy, that was my thing. I actually, since we're all dog fans in here, I'm going to tell you guys this. I think this was really cool. Before I do, though, I'm going to fill my cup up with ice. I'm going to let Nate tell you what he thinks of the matchup against Texas and Georgia for next week. Go for it, Nate. Dang, I just called you Nate. You could punch me in
Nate.
the face the next time you see me, Vic. Okay, Vic is going to tell you about the matchup against Texas and Georgia. Go for it, Vic. What do you think about it?
Yeah, hold on. I need to plug my phone in.
Oh, okay. So that's what we're doing.
It's
We
about
walking
it's
around. We walking around with the phone with
about
low
it's
battery.
about to die. It's about to
Yeah, that's
die.
that dog. That's all that. I didn't mean to call my boy Nate.
All right, there. I got it.
All right, here you go. Susan, tell you about the matchup between, or just at least tell me what you think about it. Like, you think we have a chance? What do you think we need to do to win? Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we got a chance. I mean, there's always a chance, but I
So you're
mean,
so you're saying there's a chance.
right? I mean, obviously, we can't do like we did against Alabama. We can't, go down, 3 or 4 touchdowns in the first half. We can't be down 21 after that after the first quarter. So I feel like we have to survive the first half. We got to go into halftime and still be in this game. Obviously defense is going to have to play better. I mean, I'm not really too worried about the Texas run game. I would be, more
Yeah,
concerned about, the pass. We have to cover well.
agreed.
Have to, make Ewers give us some, th- throw some interceptions.
Well, and
Yeah, I think to win this game, I think we need to get, Ewers to throw at least 2 interceptions. Yeah, I think that, pass rush, needs to do a good job. I mean, I don't think we even had any sacks against Mississippi State. Yeah, we're gonna have to get Ewers on the ground some.
hey, Nature Boy just said Nate Tube Productions.
Yeah,
Uh, now look, I agree. There's a thing though, and we all know this. So I'm gonna go from top to bottom. One, Georgia now, because of having Kirby Smart, Alabama with Nick Saban and the way they play, they've always struggled against running quarterbacks.
right,
So Milrow to us gave us a lot of problems because of that.
right.
Now, Quinn Ewers is not a running quarterback. Plus, they are out with their first string and second string running back.
Yeah, I thought
So
they'd been out since the beginning of the season. But
yeah, I'm just saying they're going to have to play their style of offense, which we are actually designed and built to stop. So um, we can't give up deep shots, can't give up long ball like you said. But this was something that to add to Nature Boys thought talking about the running backs that we have, stuff like that. I remember the whole what was it? I remember this whole ordeal where last week I was like, dude, how do we have Anthony Evans at punt returner and kick returner, but yet when we're trying to run screens and stuff, we're giving it to Arian Smith. Evans has got to be our best guy in space. Like
yeah,
he's got to
yeah.
be the best, you know. Well,
I
then all
mean,
of a sudden,
I think you got like one. You got like one jet sweep in this game.
he got one jet sweep. He
Yeah,
got the end around.
yeah,
That's what it was. It was the end around.
yeah,
And then he got two screens. And
yeah.
it looked good. And it's like, dude, feed him the ball. Like he is nice.
Yeah, we
Dylan
need to give him
Bell.
more.
Get
Yeah,
Dylan Bell the ball more. Doesn't just have to be passing it to him downfield. Well, No Sean Marino and Aaron Murray and them have that like little podcast where it's those two, Ben Jones and TK Tavares King, all played at Georgia. Well, I went on there last week and I was commenting and I just said, how is it that Dominic Lovett at Missouri could get 1,000 yards in a season? I think he had like right at 900, but yet at Georgia, the dude can't even get 500 yards in a season. How he's got better players around him. So what's the deal? What's the difference? Like that was one of my things of just our offense is not very good at designing a game plan.
No.
So
Yeah, did you see that Oscar Delp had a catch? I was like, when he caught the ball, and I
I
was like,
did. It was very
wow,
good to see him.
like that's Oscar Delp.
Yes, and we hadn't seen him for like 3 games. He's been on the field. He's just been dropping everything. But here we go. Any correlation between Muschamp taking a step back in the offseason and us struggling on the back end of the deal? I think a little bit of both, or I think a little bit of Muschamp taking a step back and a lot of us just having inexperience and young players. We lost a lot 2 years ago, and the rest of that defense we lost last year to the draft.
Yeah, no, we lost like three starters in the secondary.
So I think you just had a lot of like, yeah, we did because you had Kamari Lassiter, Taki Smith, and then oh, what's the other one? I see him pop up on my feed all the time. I can't think of his name, but like you had those guys leave, so you had people had to step up. Anyways, I do think that that's there. Evans, yeah, he took that run for 52 yards, and it's not just that he's fast. Yes, he's super fast. He's a good runner. Evans is a good runner. K Dog said, I'm ready for it." Um, what did Nate say? Or no, K Dog. Boba better have some good trick plays in his sleeve. Oh, and his trick or treat bag. Sir UGA, F it. I'm taking UGA in the points. Horns down. You want to be SEC team. Um, I I think Texas has a good offense, but I don't know how good their defense is. You can't tell me that, oh, well, they held Oklahoma to 3 when Oklahoma's starting top five receivers were all out of the game. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? So, Sir UJ's going to the game. Let's go. Well, you better be loud or Kirby going to say something. Kirby going to come into the stands and push you like he did Mississippi State's quarterback.
Yeah,
But
that Martin Van Buren. Yeah, I mean we were or excuse Michael Van Buren, but he kind of sounds like Martin Van Buren, like the president. But
nice.
yeah, it seems like we could get pressure on him, but it seems like he would escape every time.
Well, people always say, man, how come Georgia doesn't get as many sacks as so and so? You know how when you're about to play a big game, Vic, and you're prepping for what that team does. So, like, if I'm about to play hopscotch against Sir UGA, Sir UGA is probably terrible at hopscotch, but K Dog is the champ. So, against Sir UGA, I'm just going to try to do my best. But in hopscotch against K Dog, he does this, this, and this very well. I can't mess up on that. So I think teams when they play against Georgia have this mindset. Okay, think about the Warriors, Vic. What do the Warriors do well?
Um, I don't know, shooting the ball.
Yeah, they shoot the crap out the ball. So what are you going to try not to give up against the Warriors?
I'm gonna try to not give up the three, right?
Yes, but when you're playing other teams that you don't care. Now they may get hot and shoot a bunch of threes that night, but that's not their forte. So I think these teams when they play Georgia, they have this mindset of they're going to disguise schemes. Yes, we get that. But they're also going to try to get home on the quarterback because that's their style of play. We have got to be ready on getting away. And do you remember we played Bo Nix a few years ago? He did it perfect. Every time we'd get through, Bo, he'd take off running, Bo, throw the ball to bounds. Incomplete pass. He would not let us get a sack. And it's just these teams are so prepped and ready when they play Georgia. That's why I don't think we get a bunch of sacks. It's always I don't know. That's how I feel. I may be wrong, but yeah, that's how I feel about it. Uh, Facts, Nature Boy. Oh yeah, let's go. Yeah, Oklahoma's offense is trash. Yes. Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm going with this. Is what was the final score of that game, by the
It
way?
was 34-3.
Ooh, okay, 34. I think Oklahoma has a decent defense, but you can't have your defense on the field the entire game
No.
and expect them to be good. So don't know how much of that is the defense just kind of being tired and being on the field, or or Texas just having a great offense. But yeah, this is I think it's going to be a good game. What would you say? Oh, give me a prediction. Give me a prediction, big dog.
Right now.
Not even it doesn't even have to be a score prediction. Like for me, I'll say this. This is the kind of prediction I'm talking about. I think Georgia is going to run for a rush for over 150 yards. I think we're gonna not try to establish the run game and get 150. I think we're gonna do the same thing we did this past week. I think Beck's gonna come out looking like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers and just throwing that thing, dude. Like I mean, and let him do it. If that's what we're good at, then just do it. You don't have to be the same offense when Stetson was here. You don't have to be the same offense as I don't know, Cam Newton. It's like do with what you have. Like if I have Vic Tube at quarterback, I'm not going to put in a scrambling offense. I'm going to let you use your arm and throw for 300 yards a game. So, and I think last year we actually did that. And you know how people will say, well, last year we had Brock Bowers and Ladd McConkey? Vic,
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
did you know that we only had those two together at the same time, like in the same game for 3 games out of the season?
Yeah, I did know that. Yeah.
Yeah, they were hurt. One was hurt, then he got healthy, and then a few games, boom, then also another one get hurt. Like it's the same offense. Like that's what I'm saying. It's the same players. Like to say, oh, well, you lost Ladd and Brock, that was a lot of your production. Yeah, but it that's what I'm trying to say is we didn't have both at the same time for the whole season. It just seems like Bobo sometimes can overthink things, and on the 15 or 20 yard line against Alabama last year can run a reverse sweep and us fumble, So I'm just saying it that's where I think our offense now with a little identity, if we go into Texas and we light them up with the pass game, the run game will follow. They'll back up. And I think when defenses back up and space out, I think ETN is going to be a monster. Like I think ETN is actually a very good running back. I think he's just having to deal with a lot of stacked boxes because he's playing at Georgia and he's getting used to it. Because he runs hard. I mean, even if he only gets 5 yards, he fights for all five. So, so yeah. I guess I'm not ranting, but I'm going off, big dog. Can you think of anything?
Mm.
No.
Anything else? No.
Okay. I just think that. Now to switch over, we'll bring up Pigskin Pete's team. Do you think Clemson's actually a good team?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I do too. And like to the point where I'm thinking Clemson may win the ACC, dude.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
they're
know
probably
that I know they'll have to go through Miami,
Miami. Yeah.
but I don't think Miami's defense. I don't like who is going to stop Clemson. Who's going to stop their offense?
Yeah, I don't really trust Miami's defense. Yeah.
What's up, Octavian? Yeah, I don't trust Miami's defense.
There.
Is Nate Tube sleeping? No, he's not
No,
sleeping.
no, I'm not sleeping. Yeah,
No.
I'm not sleeping. Yeah,
Okay.
Nate might be, but I mean, Nate was in here earlier.
Sir UGA said 5-2 UGA. I mean, Octavian said 5-2. Oh, we saying we're gonna lose to Texas? Dang. Okay, Octavian
Yeah, he
came
thinks
out.
we're Texas.
Yeah, came out swinging. But but yeah, I think Clemson is good. I think Penn State's overrated. They almost lost to USC, which I thought USC was going to win. They were up by a good bit. Ended up letting Penn State come back. Um, did you see the Colorado game?
No, I didn't watch it. The game that came on at 10:30. No, I didn't stay up for that one. But
Dude, it Colorado had a chance to beat them and ended up, it went into not overtime. I think it was just like a last second drive,
right, yeah,
and it was an obvious pass interference call, and they just didn't call it. And I was like, dang, like I thought it was tough. Now Colorado didn't complain about it. It is what it is, but still, I'm just like, you got Colorado out here almost beating Kansas State. Like I think we can go ahead and say this year's team's better than last year's team.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I think that Colorado is better. Is better than we thought they were going to be.
Um, I just wonder if they're going to. I wonder like how they're going to finish the season.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't know, probably like somewhere around 7-5, maybe 8-4. Yeah,
yeah, because they got two losses right now.
yeah. So I
Um,
think they can go. So
well, I
they
think
think they
Kansas
can
State
go
may be the best team that can
7 or 8 wins. Yeah,
That'd be crazy if they won 9 or 10 games, Nate. I know that'd be tough, but so you got Colorado. We talked Penn State, Oregon, Ohio State. Like I said, I think both of those teams are overrated. Am I missing it? Who else in the top 10? Who am I thinking of?
Well, let's see. I know, of course, what about Oregon and Ohio State? Yeah.
I I think they're overrated. I think watching that game, there were bits and pieces of it that were super boring. It wasn't that it was great defense; it just the quarterbacks making bad plays. Dylan Gabriel's not as good as I thought he was. I thought he was one of the best. I thought he was the best quarterback at the beginning of the year, but he makes his passes are not very accurate. He throws the ball at people's feet a lot. He's not good on the run, or at least making passes on the run. Like he threw a lot out of bounds or threw a lot, 2-3 yards from the receiver. Ohio State's quarterback is actually worse than Kyle McCord. So I don't know. I think Ohio State could just throw 50-50 balls the whole game and score 40 points a game. Their receivers are amazing. Tennessee, that's right. Tennessee and BYU, that's who we're missing. Um, and Alabama. So Tennessee ends up winning a nail biter against Octavion's Gators. Are the Gators better than they were at the beginning of the season, or is Tennessee just that bad?
No, probably a little bit of both. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Um, I think Tennessee, yes, was a little overhyped to begin with. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
Florida,
I don't know what happened to Tennessee's offense.
I have no idea, dude. Maybe they just have a freshman quarterback. Like I don't know, maybe. Yeah, like I said, maybe just have a freshman quarterback. Um, so listen to this. The next 3 games, Colorado plays Arizona, Cincinnati, and Texas Tech. I think they'll win all 3 of those. Arizona, Cincinnati, Texas Tech. 4, 5, 6, which would give them 7 wins. Then they play Utah, Kansas, and Oklahoma State, which Oklahoma State's going to be a strong. They're probably not going to beat Oklahoma State.
No,
Kansas isn't
who,
as good.
who BYU? I think BYU will probably beat Oklahoma State.
I'm talking about Colorado.
Oh, Colorado. Well, I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, yeah, they could. I mean,
Um, who is it? Billy Dapier or Diaper Man. Uh, I think Tennessee is gonna just have a regular Tennessee season. A little bit of hype here and there, and then they're out. BYU is a random one. I don't know much about. That's probably the only team I don't really follow. I gotta be honest.
BYU. Yeah. What about Iowa State?
Oh yeah, but they're like number 9 or something like that, or 8.
You have BYU and Iowa State are both 6-0.
What in the world?
Yeah, that's probably going to be your Big 12 championship.
Got it. Okay. Uh, well, okay. I think. Oh, last thing I'll say then. What about Alabama? Is Alabama? Are they dealing with the effects of the hangover after Georgia, or are they just not that good?
Yeah. I think probably both.
Okay. I,
Well,
I think they're really good. I don't know what's going on with them right now, but
yeah, they got a tough stretch of games coming up. They got to play at Tennessee, and then home against Missouri, and then they're at LSU. So yeah, I think that they're gonna lose at least one of those games. They might even lose two of them.
okay. I'll say this: my thing about um, Alabama, Kalen DeBoer, when he was at Washington, everywhere he's been, right, he's been able to just go wide open, and it's wild when you think about it like this. Kirby always talks about wanting to get hot at the end of the season. Well, do you? This is what I think. You tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like what has happened is Kalen DeBoer went out against Georgia and he threw everything he had at him. Well, when he was at other places, people didn't focus that much on on him and who he was until his last year at Washington. And now him being at Bama, he didn't have to worry about hiding pieces of his playbook and kind of being a little conservative here and there because he didn't have to worry about it. Well, Alabama is on everybody's radar, and these coaches collab with each other and talk about different things that they can do to stop certain teams. And I think that's what has happened is now this guy is everywhere because you're at Alabama and you got all these coaches collabing and talking with each other on things they can do to stop you. And that's where I think people like Vandy and then now, you know, South Carolina almost did it. Like people are figuring out ways to keep Milrow in the pocket, and not only keep him in the pocket, but keep other players like their star play, like they're just shutting it down. So I think DeBoer is going to adjust. I think he seems like that kind of coach that always has, but I think that's what they're doing right now is with a little of hey, it's time to step up type deal. But yeah, that's about it, big dog. But anything you got, buddy? Anything you want to
But
talk about on the?
yeah, I know that DeBoer was in a lot of close games last year at Washington. I mean, against teams like Stanford. Took Washington down to the wire.
Got it. Okay. So
And then
okay. Okay.
yeah,
Well, I don't know. I hate it for Bama fans because they go crazy when their sister gets home 5 minutes late from work. So I think now with Georgia, I mean with Alabama struggling, I think it's just gonna drive up the. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's just gonna cause a lot of chaos. But
well,
you what?
this would be good for NASCAR car ratings. Yeah,
You think so?
the Talladega 500 was the day after Bama lost to Vandy. So
I can see that. No, yeah, I can see.
Talladega on that was on that same weekend. So
Well, I think that's gonna be about it. I just wanted to come on and talk about Georgia for a second. I'm gonna get to making a video about basically what we talked about with Georgia, and then talk about Texas. Then talk about Colorado, and then the Oregon Ohio State game, and I'll leave it at that. Cool, cool.
yep, cool.
Sounds good, buddy. Well, appreciate you coming on. Everybody, appreciate you guys listening. I know this was a spur of the moment live. I think the lives for me, you guys know, will always be random and spur of the moment. But I'm gonna get back to putting out more content. We just kind of had a little busy couple of weeks, and now I'm kind of able to settle back down. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. And Vic just had a video come out. If you guys get a chance, go look at it. What was the name of the video, Vic?
It's called college football. It's called Week 7 recap.
Yes, week 7. So go check out his recap, and I will see you guys, I'm sure, pretty soon. So appreciate you, Vic. Appreciate you guys. Love all of you. Nature
All
Boys,
right.
Jay, Octavian,
Yeah.
K Dog, Vic Tube, all of y'all. So we'll see you later. See you, bud.
All right. All right. See you, TB.